The way I see it, I shape a process. So it's like sculpting a process, but then you also use it. It's a process of finding as much as creating. I'm Erik Swahn. I'm an architect with an artistic practice. I still hesitate to call myself an artist. I used to write architect, etc. in my bio, but it's more about the etc. At the moment. My work, it's changed a lot over the years. I think originally the architectural focus was more central, perhaps focused more on color and form, but in different aspects, going back and forth between figuration and abstraction and different ways of generating form. When I start a project, I usually start from scratch. I think it's a pitfall when you work with programming that it can end up as a software project, but I mean it's not a coding competition. I think more of it as building a machine, but hopefully a very idiosyncratic machine that works in a peculiar way. Soma just means body in Greek, like in somatic and psychosomatic and so on. What I saw after a while when I was working with it, I started seeing these different types of bodies, so bodies on different scales, sometimes almost celestial bodies like nebulae and stars and so on, but sometimes very small, like atomic or cellular or anatomic bodies or parts of bodies. Originally it started more as a way of exploring fluid dynamics and the sort of watercolor effects. I wasn't really interested in simulation of watercolor or fluids or anything. I was more interested in the painterly effects of it, using that logic of pigments in space to produce shape. And then a shift came when I just started using these dark backgrounds and working more towards this Baroque era type chiaroscuro effect, where you play a lot with some drastic contrasts between darkness and brightness to sort of imply a shape rather than describing it. My latest work before Soma was Autoscope, which was quite figurative in some ways, although quite abstract in terms of geometry and so on. But that's the closest I've come to describing more complete scenes in some type of world. A lot of other works have been more about objects in themselves, form for the sake of form. And other works, I think particularly fields, that was much more towards the abstract. So fields maybe is closer to Soma than the other works in that it's almost completely abstract. It's the only figurative thing in fields is a horizon, and not even in all of the cases, just in some of them. In a way, figuration is a dead end in terms of you can't really progress from that. So I think that's why I sort of wanted to sort of explode shape and explode color and sort of transform everything into these very fine particles. I wanted to break away from sort of the definite nature of the types of shapes in functor and otoscope, and just dissolve form and color, because although I've worked with these sort of small dots in a lot of projects, it's in Soma it's much more about the sort of fine particle, like a dust or a gas or sand or something that's very very dissolved. I think generative work, it's not just about the final results, it's also about the experience of seeing the machine in action. And just knowing that people spend time with the machine and generate hundreds and thousands of outputs, and sort of standing by that stream of outputs, it's a beautiful thing.